Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Fran, and today we will be talking about how to regain control over your life and step into your own power. Now, hopefully this won't sound like a lot of hogwash. I remember as I was searching for answers and solutions to my constant dissatisfaction and my failed relationships, listening to those spiritual masters and who were talking about self-love and wanting to slap them. What on earth were they talking about? How on earth is one supposed to love oneself? Are we supposed to kiss the image reflected in the mirror, perhaps? To me, it was just psychobabble that people said to sound enlightened. It really annoyed me, to be honest, and it still does a little bit. I eventually had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to understand what they actually meant. First of all, what does loving yourself not mean? It doesn't mean to be vain, cocky, overconfident, or selfish. As I understand it today, it means to ignore all sources of external validation. You see, external validation is a trick of the ego, an illusion, which can be taken away at any time. The ego isn't something bad. The ego, the subconscious mind, are busy keeping us safe, and they can't tell the difference between what is real or imagined, what is genuine or fake. The subconscious mind doesn't discriminate, it doesn't analyze, it doesn't reason. It takes things at face value. The subconscious mind doesn't even have a sense of humor. It takes everything in its literal sense. It doesn't have the flexibility of our rational mind, and it operates on autopilot. Now, this ability is essential for our survival, as it enables us to function in a world so rich of stimuli that it would be totally overwhelming for us. Therefore, we need an efficient screening system to filter out information coming from the senses, categorize it quickly as dangerous or safe, friend or foe, etc., to enable us to react quickly to threats from the environment. Now, the problem with this is that our subconscious mind is programmed in childhood. So we tend to inherit the beliefs, fears, and limitations of our previous generations to a certain extent. Then we spend our entire lives filtering out information which is inconsistent with those beliefs and reinforcing our convictions by looking for consistent evidence in everyday life. So you see, the ego can't tell the difference between real self-worth and flattery. It takes flattery at face value. It feels good in the moment, so we crave it. The ego doesn't know whether the source of this validation is external or internal. But you see, when you base your self-worth on sources of external validation, you are bound to fall into self-loathing when such sources are removed. And this is because there's a void inside of you, an insatiable black hole. You become dependent on people's approval in order to feel worthy. There is only one way to step into your own power and regain control and mastery over your life: to ignore all sources of external validation, as the imposters that they are. You need to be able to self-soothe when the going gets tough. You need to make sure that you accept even your shadows, your faults, your weaknesses, totally, without judgment and criticism. Stop self-deprecating humor, if you can. Stop putting people on pedestals and putting yourself down. Stop looking for more things to dislike about yourself. Become indulgent with yourself. Stop second-guessing your decisions and regretting your mistakes. You see, it's impossible to learn anything new without making any mistakes. You probably have heard this story many times before, but when Thomas Edison was asked how he didn't get discouraged in the process of inventing the light bulb, he allegedly failed 1,000 times, he replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times, I found 1,000 ways that didn't work." To Edison, every mistake he made was a step closer to success. So start by accepting every part of you. Remove any shame, self-judgment, and criticism. Catch yourself thinking those negative thoughts, and then replace them with the opposite of what comes up automatically. Do this over and over and over again until it first becomes automatic, and then the self-critical thought doesn't even arise anymore. Your self-concept then becomes positive by default. When this happens, the need to be constantly validated from the outside disappears. You become the master of your own emotions, and you're no longer bound by a system of reward and punishment where you seek to escape from pain and attain any form of ephemeral pleasure. You can no longer be controlled by people who give or retrieve the reward at will, be it attention, affection, flattery, and so on and so forth. People may come and go in and out of your life, but your self-concept will not be affected by the choices. You will stand in your own power and know that you're good enough either way. The thing is, usually when people acquire this sort of power and mastery over their emotions, they become magnetic. People around them no longer feel drained by the gravitational force of their internal black hole, so to speak. They are actually drawn to them, and they feel recharged in their presence. When the source of your validation is internal, you step down from the roller coaster and become balanced. But don't mistake this with being boring and emotionless. You still have emotions, but they will be more balanced, more stable. You'll be more like a surfer than someone sitting passively on a scary ride. So you see, by reprogramming your subconscious mind and transforming your self-concept, you become invincible. What will also start to happen is that you'll see people and events differently. You'll become more indulgent, more fun to be with. You radiate higher or lighter energy and higher frequency energy. And your life will transform completely. People will mirror your self-concept, and paradoxically, you will get everything that you've always wanted. But then you won't need it anymore. It will just be a nice addition. So the next time you're having what you deem to be a harmless self-critical thought, think twice. Stop in your tracks and counteract it with, no, I'm good as I am. I don't particularly like the expression good enough, as it seems a little restricting and limiting. We're all much more than good enough. Whether we recognize it or not, we're all perfect. No mistake is a mistake. We are here to experience and grow and expand. But I'm good enough is a good starting point. I'm overweight. No, I'm good enough. I'm too short. No, I'm good enough. I'm ugly. No, I'm good enough. My teeth aren't white enough. No, I'm good enough. I'm stupid. No, I'm good enough. And so on and so forth. Good enough is the perfect starting point, because if you believe that you're stupid and you tell yourself that you're a genius, this will simply serve to reinforce your initial thought. You'll feel even more stupid for fooling yourself. But most people can accept good enough. Now, chances are that you will still feel silly while arguing with yourself and repeating affirmations. But remember this, your entire life you've been repeating negative affirmations to yourself. You were just doing it unconsciously. You were not in charge of your own thoughts. Now you are. If these still feel silly, then I suggest that you find subliminal positive affirmations on YouTube. Although many people are afraid of subliminal recordings because they cannot control what comes in, this is exactly why they work so well. They bypass the filter of the rational mind and go straight to the subconscious, where they are accepted uncritically and wholeheartedly. You see, when you feel silly while repeating positive affirmations, it's because the information is inconsistent with what is stored in your subconscious mind. So your rational mind blocks it out by creating shame and embarrassment. There is a cognitive dissonance of sorts between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and the subconscious always wins. The way to bypass the rational mind is either through constant repetition and practice until something has become so familiar that it can be accepted by the subconscious, or by sidestepping the conscious part of the brain altogether. Subliminal affirmations obviously work much faster, so does hypnosis for the same reason. But if you don't like to relinquish control completely, then there are some guided meditations online which you can listen to throughout the night. In this case, you know what they are saying, but you can't fight them off while you sleep. When we sleep, our subconscious mind is busy reorganizing and making sense of the events of the day, and therefore it gets distracted from its controller role. You can use whatever tool you prefer, affirmations, hypnosis, subliminal, or regular guided meditations while you sleep. I suggest that you try them all and choose the one that you prefer, but whatever you choose, do it consistently for at least 30 days. You see, repetition will form neural synapses in the brain. It will hardwire the beliefs into your physical brain, and it will render them automatic. So this is it for today. There is only one way to change the external reality, the 3D that you are experiencing, the people you attract, and their behavior towards you. It's by changing your self-concept, by treating yourself like you'd like to be treated. Let the only form of validation be internal and self-defined, and you will no longer be a slave to the carrot and the stick. You become free, powerful, and magnetic, and you surf through life's challenges instead of gripping the railings of your ride and holding on for dear life. You'll be free from emotional addiction, and you will stop reproducing the same patterns over and over again. And remember, you don't need to know why your self-concept is as it is, who programmed you to react the way you do and why, in order to change your program and update your software. It doesn't matter how or why you react the way you do. Just change it, and may the force be with you. Now, how I wish it was the 4th of May to crack that joke. Anyway, if you found this video helpful or interesting, please share, like, subscribe, and hit the bell option. In any case, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful awakened day.